Jordan. Man, there has been a firestorm across Clemson social media since this news has gotten some real traction. Ian Schieffelin, Clemson football player? Question mark. That would be absolutely crazy. It's something that Dabo Sweeney has talked about himself in interviews. I think just this past season he was asked some sort of question and said that Ian Schieffelin could certainly play football for the Tigers. That he would like him at tackle, but he would probably not want to play there. He would probably want to play tight end or defensive end. Ian Schieffelin did play a little bit of football coming up. Played a little high school football for Grayson High alongside of our one and only Phil Maffa, just drafted to the NFL. With Marcus Dixon moving to defensive end, maybe he could add a little something to that tight end room. Who knows? But everybody knows that he exhausted his 4 years playing for Clemson basketball. But you have a 5-year window as a NCAA athlete. So he could potentially use that 5th year to play a different sport, which in this case would be football. Obviously, he's going, if it were to happen, he'd be going into a tight end room with Olsen Pat Henry, obviously looking like the starter come fall camp. And then you got Josh Sapp, Christian Bentaker, Logan Brooking in there as well. And he would be looking to add to that room should it be a possibility. 6'8", 240-pound former basketball player now, I guess, converted to Clemson football player possibly. Jordan, what are your thoughts on this firestorm that has swept Clemson media, Clemson fans all across the internet? Is there fire to this smoke, or is this all just talk?
There's fire. There's certainly fire. All signs point to this being finalized here in the coming day or two. It was shocking when I first got the news, because it was one of those things where Dabo had talked about it. He had joked about it in the past. He had been like, he always raved about Ian Schieffelin when the basketball team came up, and he said, "That's a football player right there." I've been trying to see. I'm trying to get him on the football team. But he always did it, and it always came across as like tongue in cheek. He was always grinning when he said it. It was kind of one of those things where you're like, "Oh, okay, he's just he's playing around." I mean, Ian absolutely does look like a football player. He plays basketball like a football player, so it's not the most surprising thing, but. No, like it was surprising to kind of see it, no, this is real, and when people that would be, that would know and would be close to the situation, told me, I was like, no, you can't be serious, man.
Yeah, there's no way that's real.
And now it's one of those things where it's a reality, and obviously it picked up steam today, and now multiple, news and media outlets have dropped the story. The cat's kind of out of the bag. So I kind of have a theory about it. I have this conspiracy that this is sort of like a psyop by Dabo in order to distract all of us from the fact that he didn't go get a punter in the portal. Just give us a little bit of a distraction, kind of shake the keys in the shiny keys in our face. Man. Type of thing, and distract from the fact that we still don't know if we have a punter. But in all seriousness, I think it's a good thing for Ian. Certainly, he gets that extra year of eligibility.
Right.
You play, if you exhaust your 4 years, you can get a 5th if you play a different sport. And so he's going to be he's the first one that I can think of that played basketball and converted to football. Like, obviously Nuke Hopkins, he played football and he was also on the basketball team his freshman year. Right. But like, he was signed and recruited as a football player first. and he played on the basketball team for one season.
Right.
And it wasn't even really one season. He played in like 7 games of his freshman year. So like we haven't really had an example, at least not off the top of my head, of a basketball player that had played primarily like.
Yeah, I mean, typically the relationship is, football and baseball, right?
Yeah.
We've had quite a few examples of football players that have
Because there's no overlap.
played baseball. There's no overlap of the season. You can theoretically play both. Football and basketball, a little bit of a different animal there, right? And just the physicality difference when it comes to the two sports as well. So definitely the only one in my mind. I'll build on your conspiracy theory, and maybe this is our transfer portal punter.
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
He did. There's that screenshot of his old high school football profile floating around. He punted.
He punted. One time in middle school, maybe.
Yeah.
But no, it's interesting, man. It was always a fun thing to kind of laugh and joke and talk about. And you heard Dabo, as you mentioned, kind of joke about it in the past. But now I guess it's reality. How much of an impact will this be? I mean, in all seriousness, when you drill down into the football stuff, this is a long shot, man. Like, I realize he's big. I realize he's athletic. But that's quite a transition. And he's only going to get work in fall camp. So we'll see. I mean, it's certainly going to be an interesting storyline to follow. I don't expect much out of it other than this is a really cool story and it's fun to talk about. And, we got a 4-year guy that, was a massive piece of the basketball program for 4 years. And now he's finishing up his Clemson career with a 5th year and choosing to play football. So it's a cool story. But honestly, I don't expect much out of it other than it's fun to talk about.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like, there were people like saying, "But what if he's good? Like, what if that happens?" Like,
he might be. It might be.
Maybe I'm not betting on
Probably
it. A guy
not.
that hasn't played football since high school, and
right.
I mean, body type wise, he can play. He can play. But
when's the last time you played football? Sophomore year, high school. I think I read that somewhere. So, plus you're learning a whole new position. Has he ever played tight end in his life?
I think No, actually, he might not have. No, I don't think so because he was still.
He played quarterback in high school.
Yeah, and he was much smaller. He was like 200. He was like 205 pounds, give or take.
Yeah,
when he was playing in high school. So it's obviously he's come a long way from a body type standpoint.
240 pounds, so that's a big body out there. But there's a lot to learn. That's a huge transition period. That's going to take a lot of diligent work from him and the coaching staff trying to get him spun up. Like I said, it's a really fun story. It would be even greater if he was like just some natural at the position and somehow was really great. But I do think that's a long shot, regardless of how big and athletic he is. It is a big transition to come in and learn the tight end position at this level with such a quick turnaround. But hey, I guess stranger things have happened. So we'll see how it plays out. It'll certainly be a fun story heading into fall camp. Like all eyes will be on Ian Schieffelin come fall camp. No doubt about that.
Yeah, no doubt. And it'll be something to monitor, especially when the news becomes official. But it's not something like the thing is like it's not. It's kind of a mostly harmless move. Like there's not really many downsides to it. He's only here for 1 year. He's not impacting, really future recruiting at the position because he's not going to be here long.
Not be here any longer than a season. Marcus Dixon did move to defensive end, so theoretically you do have a spot there open as far as a depth piece, right? Like so. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it impacts anything crazy. And why not, right? Why not?
My friend, shout out to Dustin Black on Twitter. He said it the best. He was like, Dabo is just completing side quests at this point. Like he's got he's got the little achievement unlocked, little notification that you get on Xbox.
Yeah, Dabo heard all y'all talking about the transfer portal and how he doesn't get transfers, so he goes and does it this year, and he's like, well, since we're not looking for any transfers in the spring portal, I'll just go get somebody off the basketball team.
Why not? We're going 100% completion run. we're true gamers. Like it's a lot of. It just makes you laugh. It's just one of those things. But
you text me about this. You text me about this earlier in the week, and I think my response to you was like, "That's the most Dabo move ever." Like that. This is such a Dabo move, and I love it. Like, this is fun. This is fun to talk about. This is exciting news. I hope Ian Schiffelin's actually good. Maybe. Yeah. Again, I don't expect anything out of it, but if it ends up being anything, that would be one of the coolest stories of all time. And it would be fitting that a coach like Dabo would do something like that. Like I said, it's such a Dabo move, but congratulations to Ian Schieffelin. Welcome to the Clemson football team. And it's time to strap it up and catch some passes, brother.
Yep. Put them pads on.
Going from grabbing rebounds to touchdown passes. You know what I'm saying? So, we'll see.
That first week of two-a-days, I can't wait to see it.
Oh man. Yeah. It's gonna be different.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what his welcome to football moment's gonna be.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe we'll get that.
Even if he's not anything special.
Yeah.
Like you gotta get him in on.
Oh yeah, he's got to get in. Yeah.
I need at least one Ian Schieffelin touchdown this season.
Yeah, you can't bring him on the team and not get him in. Like, if he's not really that great, like you got to get him in on some of these smaller schools at least. Like, you got to put him in the game. Has to happen.
I want you to imagine that he just he rides the bench all season, and Clemson wins a national championship. He just he coasts. He just kind of coasts to get a ring. Like that'd be one of the coolest flexes, honestly. I played 4 years of basketball.
I lettered all 4 years of basketball, and then I went and won a national championship with the football team. No big deal. Clemson career complete. Oh man. But I mean, on the other side of that coin, imagine if he's actually good.
Yeah.
He'll live in Clemson lore forever.
Yeah.
If he's actually good. So
he'd go on. He'd definitely be in that short list, best athletes in Clemson history if that happened.
Yeah, he would definitely catapult his name into that list for sure. But yeah, this is a fun topic to talk about. Again, going to be a lot of. I mean, fall camp's going to be a pandemonium. Like everybody's going to be asking Dabo every interview about Ian Schieffelin and how he's doing. So it's going to be a fun journey to watch. I wish him the best, and we'll see where it goes.